The Vans Triple Crown of Surfing, presented by Rockstar Energy Drink. The Vans World Cup of Surfing from Sunset Beach is brought to you by Nixon, GoPro, Cliff Bar, Surfline, Flowwater, State Farm, Roadrunner, Surfing Magazine, Hawaiian Airlines, Turtle Bay Resort, Climb On Products, Wavejet Propulsion, JN Automotive Group, Hawaii Tourism Authority, Skull Candy, Supreme Sound, Oceanic Time Warner Cable, and sanctioned by ASP Hawaii. Finally, it's November and time to migrate to the North Shore of Oahu and immerse yourself into the undisputed mecca of the surfing world. This is the most powerful breaking surf on the planet, and it starts at Haleiwa, the Reef Hawaiian Pro. Sunset Beach, the original big wave arena, is the second jewel on the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing. The Bonsai Pipeline is the most recognizable wave on the planet. It's here that the final stop of the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing takes place at the Billabong Pipeline Masters. 7 miles of spectacular coastline and waves, warm water, tropical trade winds, swaying palm trees. Definitely this is paradise.
Good morning from the green room. I'm Shea Lopez on day 6 of the Vans World Cup of Surfing presented by Rockstar Energy Drink. With plenty of swell on the way, I'm going to go down to Marty Thomas with the contest update right now.
How you doing, bud? Just saw a great set come in, solid 4 feet. We got down here dark this morning, and it literally was a knee high on the point. But we know, and we knew the swell was coming. Over the course of the last hour, hour and a half, we've watched it just start to increase, and it's already a solid 4 feet on the point, and it could be as big as 6 to 8 foot come 11 o'clock. So we put the event on standby till 11 o'clock for a possible 12 midday start, which will allow us to run the first 8 heats of the round of 64, which really sets us up to finish strong, because tomorrow the swell is going to peak into 8 to 10 foot, even 12 foot range out on Friday. So if we can get 8 heats in today, have a full day tomorrow, then we can finish the quarters, semis, and final in prime conditions on Friday.
Yeah, Marty, that sounds like a great forecast to finish up this event. What do you see right now? Is there some sets starting to show?
Yeah, there is, Shay. I just saw right before we went live on air, I saw a solid 4 foot set hit the point, looking down towards Cammy's, Monster Mush, and Rocky Point. All those spots were firing on that last set. So just in the last hour and a half, we've seen the surf double and even triple. So very optimistic that we'll have some solid 6 foot surf, maybe 8 foot by midday. More than enough surf to get the competition on, and we have great weather, really good winds. So look for a possible 12 noon start in some great conditions.
That's great news, Marty. Thanks for that. Big contrast from that gusty gale force winds we saw the other day in that 10 to 12 foot. Today it's beautiful out. We have light trades. Just going to be an awesome day of competition once this gets rolling. I'm thinking 12 o'clock for sure, the way it's looking now. Sets are showing. And thank you for coming out and watching this show. Time Warner Cable is just putting on a great effort here, showing surfing to you in your living room. It doesn't get any better than this. All across the Hawaiian Islands and Los Angeles. Southern California, you can find these at San Diego. Even parts of Orange County, my friends are tuning in. So please join us on Time Warner Cable, and thank you for showing. Right now, though, here's a Surfline forecast. We're going to go into detail of where exactly this northwest swell is coming from and what exactly the timing is. For 3 days, we've had this powerful storm off the coast of Japan. Perfect direction for sunset. It's going to start showing here around noon, and that's when we look to kick off. And as Marty said, if we can finish this on Friday morning, we're going to have some great conditions and some big sunset peaks. This is a challenging wave out here, and I couldn't even ask for a better swell to light up this place. See that storm system just sitting swell right there. The swell heights in that chart, you see 30-foot seas there at the peak, pointing right at the Hawaiian Islands. It couldn't come from a better direction. We'll start to see those buoys just light up here any minute. And there's a great graphic with our cloud cover, our winds forecasted. The peak of the swell Thursday night into Friday morning. This contest is setting up for an epic finish. So right now we're going to throw to the earlier competition, and this is a clip that we put together. What exactly people are riding. Boards in the lineup in a 10 to 12 foot surf. Today might be a little smaller boards as the swell comes, but we'll see those big boards, the 7 foot plus, come into play again. So check out this peaks right now. Whenever I even think about surfing sunset, whether it's in a heat or free surf, it's always about riding a bigger board. And on the North Shore, Rocky Point, Pipeline, Haleiwa, you can get away with a smaller board sometimes, but every session here at Sunset is about getting your equipment dialed in, riding something 6'6" and above. And a lot of the boards today the guys are choosing are in that range. And it's working well as the guys that are catching the waves are getting the scores. 7-1 for Mason Ho. This is the biggest board I think I've seen him ride. 18.3, 2.46, a lot of board. And it's a lot of paddling out there. You really need this. Even though Mason on a normal day, he might paddle out there on a 5'8" free surf, but with 30 minutes, he took out the 7-1 and looked to catch some big sets.
You know, I didn't really overthink it too much. Just, you know, saw the waves and decided, you know, just ride a bigger board and try to go out and find the needle in the haystack. Hopefully find a couple waves that had open face. And, you know, I think just being a little heavier, you know, having some weight on your frame helps you negotiate the chops, and just being comfortable to, you know, riding a bigger board really helps out.
Look at these boards. I'm looking up at all these boards here, and nobody has, the smallest board I've seen is a 6'9", and the biggest board probably ridden in Haleiwa is a 6'2". That's a big difference. And some of these guys are riding 7'6". I think Sonny wanted to even ride a 9-foot board this morning, so he just wanted to get on big quality waves. So a lot of guys coming down with 3, 4, even 5 boards, not sure what they're going to ride. But board selection's been really key today. Get on the right board to, 1, catch the waves in that windy, tricky lineup, and then 2, be able to do the turns to get the scores instead of just go straight into the channel. Tomorrow especially, it's going to drop a little bit, clean up, and we'll see the guys moving into more performance boards, 6'9", 6'8", definitely getting them really tight in the pocket here. We've seen some great turns and a couple exceptional tube rides. Mitch Colburn, I love that tube on the backside he got as he just thread the perfect line through it. So this 7-1 might be put away until Pipeline, possibly. And I don't know if Mason's going to try that 5'8" tomorrow. We'll have to see what Michael says about that. Welcome back to the green room. I'm Shea Lopez, joined now with a man who needs no introduction. This is Mark Healy, and then to my left, very special guest. You guys introduce yourself for the crowd?
I'm Lieutenant Eric Majeska, I'm C-130 pilot at Barbers Point Air Station here in Hawaii.
Colin Klein, I'm a rescue swimmer out at the same air station, Barbers Point.
Nice, thanks for being on the show today. Right now we're going to go to a clip of a special training mission that you got to join in on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've always wondered what it was like, so check it out.
Thanks, we're going to go to that. Check it out right now.
So I was in California for the opening ceremony of the J at Mavericks, and somehow stars and the moon aligned, and I got a chance to do a training mission with the Coast Guard. And so when I arrived from San Francisco into Honolulu, I was picked up by the Dolphin helicopter and taken about 2 miles out at sea, out of Barbers Point, and dropped out of a basket. I felt like 007.
All right, we're out here with the Coast Guard. We're on the Coast Guard cutter, the Ahi, and we're gonna watch them do a little training. Mark's gonna be flying out in the helicopter, and they're gonna drop him in the water and do some training on picking him up. And they're just doing some training, so we're just here to check out what they do.
Our training is designed to set us up for the worst weather conditions. We want to make sure that, number one, we're well trained. Number two, we have the right equipment to do it. And number three, the ends justify the means, and it's an acceptable risk to carry it out.
When it's small, that's one thing, but when it gets really big and gnarly, and you know, these are the guys that are going to come out and save you. When a boat goes down or a surfer lost at sea, they're going to send out the big boat, they're going to send out the helicopter. And so that's what these guys got to do. They got to practice, so when it's time for them to work and time for them to save people and do their job, they're ready for it.
That's probably just about the best mood you can be in, getting picked up from a Coast Guard helicopter, I can imagine, because any other time it's going to be something really bad, like you've been treading water for a few days at sea, or you're getting busted for something. So that was the training mission is a good way to get hoisted into a helicopter. Well, when I was getting hoisted back up in the helicopter, I was trying to put my head in that spot where, what if I had been out at sea, not knowing if anybody was going to pick me up for a long time, and just how good it would feel to be getting picked up in that basket. I'm sure they have some happy campers when they get on board. I was actually thinking when I was getting picked up by that basket, I was like, okay, this is one thing I don't mind my tax dollars going to, you know. You're not wasting your tax dollars on the Coast Guard. Yeah, those guys are definitely out to help people, and there'd be a lot more people at the bottom of the ocean if it wasn't for them, for sure.
That was an incredible piece filmed over a year ago here on the North Shore with Mark and Sion. And Mark, you spent a lot of time with Sion over the years.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Cy, a lot of time in probably some of the more challenging ocean conditions I've ever been in. And I'm really glad that Surfing Magazine and Vans is putting on this Molosky medal this year for whoever kind of embodies the spirit of Sion, really charges, has a lot of aloha. Just want to say it's like, you know, a lot of things and benefits happen for people who come and go. But let me tell you firsthand, Sion there's nobody like him. I've never ever met anybody who could push me in the ocean when it's big like he could. And it was just such an honor to be at some of those really big sessions with him. And I know he pushed me personally in my surfing so much, because it's like, if you weren't going to do it, Cy was. So you had to step up to the plate every time he was in the water, and just love that about him.
Yeah, he definitely committed himself to some crazy waves and just pushed all his friends, and he made it so light and refreshing when you're out there. And it's really cool that Surfing Advance is getting together to present this Molosky Medal Award this year. Embodies the best performance of aloha, ohana, and surfing.
Yes, exactly. It all counts.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys, you know, you see in that piece, you do a lot of that. Is that what we can expect from you guys on a rescue mission around Hawaii?
Yeah, that's a pretty routine training scenario that we practice, because it comes up a lot of times during rescues and stuff. So yeah, that's what we're doing out here when we're practicing.
Yeah, no, I've seen you guys out here on numerous times. It's like practicing, and then actually in real, back in October, you had an interesting case on a flight.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. We had a twin-engine Cessna that was running out of fuel short of the Big Island, and they're estimating that they'd be ditching in the water about 100 miles short of landing at Hilo International Airport there.
And that went well?
It went very well. The guy was very prepared, professional. He'd practiced the maneuvers. He had all his rescue equipment, and we talked to him for about an hour and a half prior to him entering the water, preparing him for the ditch, setting up his cockpit, and just going over procedures. And you know, it was a real team effort with the Coast Guard cutters. The FAA was helping out with the airspace, and all that worked together. It turned out successful.
How were the ocean conditions when that went down?
They were pretty good that day, and that helped also. Not a lot of chop on the water, so good, clean, flat water for him to enter.
That must have made a big difference.
It did. It helped a lot, and made it easy for the helicopter guys when they went and picked them up out of the water.
Thanks for sharing that. And then we've talked about your work. You guys have some spare time? Get to do anything on your trips?
We do. We get the opportunity to travel all over the Pacific. There's a lot of water, a lot of dangerous water out there, and it's a big team effort to make sure covering search and rescue.
You ever slide a surfboard in?
Oh yeah, yeah. Love surfing here in Hawaii, and it's really is paradise. It's gonna be hard to leave.
Yeah, and so you're stationed here at Barber's Point.
I am. For about three years I've been out here, and this is my last year out here.
And where do you see yourself going from here?
We'll see. They haven't told me yet, but there's a lot of exciting places out there. So
yeah, no,
keep traveling around.
I've had friends in the Coast Guard, and they said that it was the best experience of their life. They've been able to surf Micronesia, South Pacific. He's stationed in Florida, right there at Ponce Inlet, stationed here at Barber's Point. And you guys, we get to travel and surf good waves and experience neat things. And it's our job, and your guys' job is to rescue people. At the same time, you're getting able to travel and surf. That's just a really cool experience and a great career path.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, tons of fun.
Yeah. I never really thought about that. You might not know where you're getting transferred, but you know it's going to be by the water.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah. Always going to be water there.
Yeah, no, if you can stay close to the water your whole life, you're doing something really cool. And I appreciate your guys' hard work and effort. It's just, can't say enough. When we're out there in the water, and if we think in the back of our heads, you guys are out there to protect us, we know you're coming. It gives us that extra bit to push harder. Mark.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you might think you're all tough and a badass and a good swimmer and all that, but once you get, just a couple miles offshore, the currents are so strong and the wind's so different out there. You're one engine malfunction away from a long drift, so it's good to have you guys, definitely.
Oh yeah, the water is very humbling out here.
Definitely. Yeah. What's some of the biggest waves you surfed in Hawaii?
I just started surfing when I got out here, so I start getting a little nervous over the 10-foot level there.
Nice. You're going to be able to watch some of this contest. We're going to have some 10-foot plus surf here at Sunset soon.
I'll be watching. I will not be surfing.
Cool. You guys are welcome to come up into the booth, do whatever you want. We love having you here. It's just such a special thing to be involved with this, like Coast Guard and Mark Healy. I mean, come on! I've got like some of the most experienced watermen in the world next to me. This is cool. Glad to have you out on the show. We're gonna see some overlays of some of the stuff you can do. We're gonna see the challenges that you guys have represented. It's just like, here we go right now. This is gonna be like, I'm lost for words right now, you guys. I'm sorry, I can't. Sometimes you get in company and it's easy to talk, but when I'm with my heroes, I can't help but just bow down to you guys and just appreciate everything you do.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thanks, guys, for coming to the show. We're gonna go to a break right now and come back with more. Thanks for joining that. Welcome back to the green room, here with Mark Healy and Coast Guards Eric and Colin. I have another question for you. Your responsibilities in Hawaii are vast and diverse. What exactly are those?
We've got about 12 million square miles to cover here in the Pacific. So me on the C-130 fixed wing side, we do a lot of long-range search and rescue missions for basically all the islands out in the Pacific. If something goes wrong out there, then we're going to be the ones responding and searching for people. So Colin's got the helicopter side close inland here, so he can speak to that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of distance to cover.
It is, it is. We can go about 125, 150 miles offshore each one of the islands, just from our fuel source. So that kind of range around each of the islands and stuff. But yeah.
No, that's
our.
It's as easy as that.
Yeah.
And the local lifeguards, you work collectively with them?
We do, and it's really nice working with them. They're professionals. They really are the best in the world. The fire department out here and the local lifeguards, they're trained for some of the toughest waters, and they got a lot of challenges to face, and we're there to help them out and support them. But they're usually the initial responders right offshore here.
Yeah, no, that's a good connection between the lifeguards, the surfers, because a lot of surfers are great watermen. I know that I've assisted in a few rescues. Have you assisted in a few rescues?
Yep, assisted in a bunch. I actually had a question for you guys, because I spearfish a lot, so I do a lot of blue water stuff, and what I think a lot of people don't realize is the open ocean currents and how hard they're honking out there, and they're not necessarily ever going with the wind or anything. There's a certain point where somebody's been last seen or last radioed in. How do you start your grid? You start it from there and go with the wind drift, or do you factor in currents?
We do all sorts of current and wind analysis. They've got lots of programs that they use downtown to factor all those things in. We have what we call data marker buoys, which is just a buoy that we drop in, and it's got a transponder on it, and they can pick up the signal downtown. And we basically just put it in, and it mimics a human body floating, so they can get all the wind drift and all that stuff, and be able to predict better which way he, she, it went.
That's interesting. I never knew that. So you can basically take that buoy that's drifting at the same rate as a human body would, and just fast forward the data however long it was since you last heard them from that point and check there.
Correct.
That's pretty
Is
cool.
it all computer models you run off these?
Yeah, it is a whole bunch of computer models, formulas, and then we have different types of searches that we run depending on how much time has elapsed and what the computer is telling us.
Sounds a lot more detailed than what our surfline forecast is. We just have to track the waves, and we can figure that out pretty easily, but that's some high-tech stuff.
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of people sitting on computers, Sector Honolulu downtown, and they run the models and they pass it to us in the air, and we fly the patterns.
Cool. Glad to know you guys got our backs. Right now, we're going to have some highlights of what's been going down here at Sunset Beach.
Gotta check out the highlights. Sweet.
Kaipo Girl here at the Vans World Cup of Surfing. We had a lot of ripping going on here at Sunset Beach. Let's see some of the day 2 highlights right now.
Josky with a big snap. He's stuttering a 1.5, so this should be a really nice score for him.
Now the lure's starting to unleash. This heat's getting shaken up right now. That was a good hook there from Evan as well as Heath Josky, so a couple of big scores.
Here's Daniel Ross, our heat leader. Nice carving turn under the hook, cuts back in. He's definitely in sync. The other surfers are trying to find themselves while Rossi is really taking control of this heat.
Mushroff on another good looking wave. Got a clean style.
Poncho
on a nice inside bowl.
Did he telegraph that? There was going to be no wasted hacks. He was looking down the line from the get-go.
is a nice wall. Big old layback snap. Let's see if he can fit a second move in. If he can make this move, another kind of under the lip snap, so smart surfing from Walshy. Big section here. He's going to float it, and he pulls it off.
Yeah, today it was a lot different than yesterday. You know, yesterday it was breaking way out the back, and today it's kind of a weird size. It's not big enough to be on the wide part, and it's not small enough to be at the point. So it's kind of in the in-between size, and you just have to play it right. And I think that middle section is kind of the best part of the wave, and that's where you're gonna be seeing everybody catching the waves.
This guy is on fire. He's just surfed such a great couple events here, and I think he's really let the world know that he's here to stay, and he's looking fired up. Adrian Toyon.
I ain't gonna lie, man, I was nervous because I know what she's capable of doing out here, and you know, she's on a high, you know, coming off a winning world title, and she's surfing great, and you know, she's young and ambitious and ready to go. And you know, today there was waves when they came, but you know, it was just one of those things: too far out, too far in, too far over. And you know, I think if she would have got waves, that would have been a different story.
I actually think I was really, I actually felt more comfortable having Sunny in my heat. I found out and I called him up yesterday afternoon. I was like, hey Sunny, I found out we're in the heat together. I'm really excited. And I was like, you know, you should maybe give me a wave out there. That'd be really awesome. But I had Poncho, and then Miles was in the heat after me, and then Sunny. So having three familiar faces out there was really nice. That was day 2 at the Vans World Cup of Surfing at Sunset Beach.
Welcome back to the Green Room. I'm Shea Lopez, and now I'm joined with Dave Stanfield, voice of surfing for over a decade. As long as I can remember, he's been talking about me surfing.
Talking about you and your brother and all the great Floridians, anybody around the world that if you admire surfing, you're a fan of surfing, things have been great the last couple of years specifically. Things are changing dramatically. And you know, one thing, we're looking at the highlights there. Injuries and goofy footers are a big story, but I guess you got to go back to the Reef Hawaiian Pro, and let's take a look at who has the best chance at winning the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing, a very prestigious prize, and it's obviously the top 4 from the Reef Hawaiian Pro.
Yes, Taj Burrows, Adriana de Souza, Nat Young, all these guys are still in this event. They have a great chance at the Triple Crown. We're going to go through that. We're going to look at those highlights from the day before we just saw, Sunny Garcia and Carissa Moore. Every time I flash back to Carissa being in this contest, I really think she surfs as good as a lot of these men.
Well, let's go by the place. First of all, 64 surfers have been eliminated, 64 remain. We're going into the 3rd round of competition. Here's some graphics that'll make it real easy for you to follow. Our contenders, obviously the surfers that did well in totally different conditions down at Haleiwa. Amazing performance, and the youngster there, he's not a teenager anymore, but Nat Young up against some big veterans there.
Yeah, and there was Adam Melling, and he was looking at re-qualifying this year with some good results in Hawaii, and he started off with a bang at that 2nd at Haleiwa.
Then we go to the wild cards. Keep an eye on the wild cards. You did see Carissa Moore unfortunately go down, but you know, a couple of turns out there. We know what she's capable of. Carissa Moore out, but the wild cards, take a look. Zeke Lau, haven't seen him yet. He's seated in the round of 64 for Hawaii, as well as Hank Gaskell. And then you've got a couple of friends in there, I believe teammates representing Vans as wild cards.
Yep, the co-host Dan Gudauskas gave him the morning off so that he can concentrate on the surf, get a little warm up. Tanner's brother's coming up in heat 4. And then we have, of course, everyone's favorite, Kalani Chapman, local boy.
Chapman.
He was here on the show yesterday. He's such a cool cat.
Kalani Chapman, exciting to see him if it's nice and big and throaty out there. And again, a goofy footer. Let's see what he's going to do out in the lineup. Anxiously waiting for pipe is probably Kalani Chapman. Our 3rd plate we have is defending champions. Yes, we have quite a few here. We've got a guy that won it last year, the Brazilian, first time a Brazilian won in like a decade, Raoni Monteiro. And then CJ Hobgood, there's a goofy footer that put on quite a show, and it was a long time to in between goofy footers winning out here, but it could happen this year. And then Sunny Garcia, what a veteran. He's been here, done it for a couple of decades.
Yeah, we got to talk to Sunny in the booth the other day. Just great influence on all the kids here in Hawaii. CJ Hobgood and Raoni Monteiro, they need some big results to get on the tour next year. Both defending champs. It's up to Sunset.
Now, we've had 2 days of competition, 2 rounds, and each of those rounds were totally different. We opened up with some pretty heavy surf, kind of a victory at sea. You could get lost out there, and then a more conservative day where you really had to find the waves and know what's going on. And what I want to bring to you, a plate of guys that are undefeated since round number 1, and what they've done is surf 2 heats undefeated and in 2 different conditions. Would you agree?
Yes, and about here at Sunset with the waves going up and down, you just get a lot of everything. And when you're at Sunset Beach and it's big and challenging, like we talked about that first day, 10 to 12 foot, and the next day you jump down to a 6-foot board, brings a lot of variables in. And these guys right here on your screen, Vincent from France, Adrian from Reunion, Davey from Australia, Kikoa from Hawaii, Poncho from Hawaii, they won their heats in both types of conditions.
Won it flat out, just solid surfing for those guys, undefeated 2 heats. So they just didn't get out there and make it through. They went out and won every heat, which was really difficult. Now they go up against probably some new faces, and we've got 3 new faces that are quite popular in the world of surfing, and I guess we should start off with 2 guys when they first jumped here at Sunset Beach made a huge impact. It was the first time we saw Jordy surf out here, and the first time we saw Julian Wilson. Last year when Julian Wilson surfed out here, he ended up winning the Rookie Series title.
Yes, he did. And he made both finals that he was able to compete in here in the Triple Crown. And Jordy Smith, a former finalist out here at Sunset, big, powerful surfer, young surfer with just so much explosiveness in this lineup. Really looking forward to seeing him surf. And of course, Harley Davidson.
Yeah, the new nickname for Davidson, now he's married. Yeah, he was telling me his dad wanted to name him Harley. He thought, hey, that'd be great. Well, Mom said, no way. So Chris Davidson's here, and he's ready to go, running and gunning. And a lot of these big guys here, they might have wished they would have surfed the Reef Hawaiian Pro. You take a look at points, they're so critical right here, and these prime points could make a difference for some of these guys that are in the 20 on up on the world rankings that are surfing the World Championship Tour. Maybe a missed opportunity if they didn't surf the Reef Hawaiian Pro and the Vans World Cup.
No, a lot of points going down here in the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing. I was talking to Freddie Patacci last night. He's one of those guys that needs a result here in Hawaii, and he's looking forward to coming up in this next round at Sunset, and then of course Pipeline, where Freddie really shines.
And we didn't put a plate together, but we have 16s that are just standout surfers. We should talk about obviously Zeke Lau coming up, Keanu Singh, Evan Geislerman, Chloe Andino, Ian Gentile, and John Florence. The teenagers are making an impact on the sport right now, like
they really are.
And
whether it's small waves or big waves, it's a cool thing about when you're a teenager coming up, you have no limits. You're just trying to figure out your body and figure out where you can go. And without much experience out here at Sunset, we saw Mason Ho doing a huge floater. These guys are throwing up stuff that traditional surfing at Sunset, you don't think about that kind of move out here.
Those under 20, some of them are still going to school, and what makes it amazing is they'll get out of the water and they go, hey, that's the first time I've ever surfed Sunset Beach in a heat, and that was the 3rd time I've ever surfed Sunset Beach. It's part of the playing field, part of the program here on the North Shore.
It really is. And I haven't seen this yet, but we have a new GoPro clip of the day we're going to check out right now. This is...
Here we go, counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's see, Sonny's won this event twice, the world title once, 6 Triple Crowns, the backdoor shootout, the XL Pro. The most accomplished surfer in North Shore competition, Sonny Garcia is.
Out the back, large, huge waves approaching on the outside, getting ready to hit Sunset Beach. Looks like Sonny Garcia. To watch Sonny Garcia right here on the inside, pulling in. Gets under the hook just for a brief moment, and gets under again, and comes out.
And that vaults Sonny Garcia in the yellow jersey into first place. And let's give it up to 6-time Triple Crown champ, Sonny Garcia. Beautiful rides out there. We'll see Sonny in the next round of competition. And we can't wait to see some of that GoPro footage.
That's the Sonny we love, smiling and having fun there with Makua. Great footage from the GoPro cam in this heat. Probably the first time anyone's ever surfed the GoPro in the heat.
And a retired surfer. He was retired 2 or 3 times. It's good to have him back. Again, a reoccurring role. Cameo appearances by Sonny Garcia are the best.
Yes, they are. Right now we're going to talk about the North Shore update. What's going on tonight at the Surfer Bar is very special. Our guest earlier, Mark Healy, will be at the Talk Story Series number 3. You're going to want to go over there and just listen to a lot of the stories that we kind of touched upon here, but he's going to go into really good detail there at the Surfer Bar tonight. You know, going on over at Kona is the Big Island Surf Film Festival. That's December 2nd and 3rd. And that's going to be a lot of fun too. Rob Machado's going over. There's a lot of special guests. You're going to want to not miss that one either. So a lot going on here all across the Hawaiian Islands, especially here at the Surfer Bar.
But we're treading water right now. We're waiting for a call, 11 o'clock call to start today. Maybe if it does happen, it would be a 11 o'clock call for a 12 o'clock start. Running 4 hours of competition, 8 heats, and then full day tomorrow, and then wrap up before noon or 1 o'clock on Friday. However, if the waves don't fill in or if they decide to hold off, we'll be surfing Thursday and Friday and some sizable surf as well.
Hey, there's plenty of swell coming, and with all that great swell we saw in the Surfline forecast, it couldn't ask for a better day. I'm going to go out there and catch some of these waves coming up right now. It's beautiful. Come down, join us. It's just going to be a great sight to see. Thank you very much.
To those of us who share these islands, flying is a way of life. Every day, Hawaii flies with us.
The Vans Triple Crown of Surfing, presented by Rockstar Energy Drink. The Vans World Cup of Surfing from Sunset Beach is brought to you by Nixon, GoPro, Cliff Bar, Surfline, Flowwater, State Farm, Roadrunner, Surfing Magazine, Hawaiian Airlines, Turtle Bay Resort, Climb On Products, Wavejet Propulsion, JN Automotive Group, Hawaii Tourism Authority, Skull Candy, Supreme Sound, Oceanic Time Warner Cable, and sanctioned by ASP Hawaii.